Good evening, Mr. and Ms. Internet and all our ships at sea. It's Thursday. It is time once again for the Freeway Forum, coming to you live and direct from the world-famous 405 freeway in beautiful, sunny Southern California. My name is Atari, and this is a free-form discussion hosted by me, but it is driven by you. Yes, you friends, your live comments during this live broadcast are what drives the conversation. So, that being the case, please join us. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends, get as many people in here as possible, and we're going to have a rollicking good time. So this is this year, I believe, is the 40th anniversary of the launch of Voyager I. The Voyager I space probe launched in 1977. Sent out among the cosmos. Took a lot of pictures of some of the, took the first pictures of the outer planets. Big deal, let's call it, not a miracle of modern engineering, but certainly the most ambitious engineering space exploration project at the time. We're just off the heels of Apollo. We only stepped on the moon 8 years prior. And then, of course, the next thing was going to the stars, which we have sort of done now. Voyager I, I believe, 2-3 years ago, officially entered interstellar space, so it's no longer in what we consider to be the solar system. Which, by the way, solar system specifically refers to this planetary system, this planetary and star system, because solar is a reference to that big old star up there that we call the sun, but its proper name is Sol, S-O-L, Sol. So this is the solar system. So there's your TIL for today. Today I learned what solar means. Anyway, so yeah, here we are on Sol 3, otherwise known as Terra, Earth. So Voyager was a really cool idea. It's a space probe. It was designed to go and take pictures of the outer planets, take a bunch of pictures, and then just keep going, because there was no way really to bring it back. It would have taken a lot of fuel to slingshot it back. So they said, okay, well, let's just take pictures of stuff and then just send it out there. There is a very famous there's a lot of famous photos that Voyager took, but there is one that comes up time and again in cosmological studies and astronomy and space science and so forth. And that is the pale blue dot. The pale blue dot, a very famous picture. It's a very famous photograph in the world. Okay. No idea what just happened there. Very famous photograph of the Earth. It is a selfie, if you will, of the Earth from the edge of the solar system, and it's literally a pale blue dot amongst nothing. So Voyager, at the behest of Carl Sagan, the brilliant cosmologist, astrophysicist, Professor Dr. Sagan. Dr. Sagan? I think so. I think it had to be a doctor. Professor Sagan, whatever. Instructor to such luminaries as Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Anyway, Carl Sagan, the guy behind Cosmos, the billions and the billions guy. his wife and the fledgling Planetary Society at the time, they had this idea that, you know, if we're going to just throw this thing at the cosmos anyway, if we're just going to throw it out there, OMG, what's OMG? What's OMG? Guess what? What am I guessing? What am I guessing? Oh, the suspense is killing me. Barbie's like coming up with like, OMG, guess what? I'm like, I don't know. What things? I don't know. Anyway, so Carl Sagan and his wife Andrian, oh no, Barbie thought that this was something about something else. Oh dear, what did you think this was about? I can hardly wait to find this out. Oh, Barbie, what did you think this was about? Oh, Star Trek Voyager! To be fair, the Voyager, the Starship Voyager from Star Trek Voyager, was named after the space probe. So, also interesting bit of trivia. Spoiler alert: Voyager was the whole plot of the first Star Trek movie, the awful one. Of course, somebody will say, "Which awful one?" That's the first one. The first one is the awful one. The one that was trying too hard. It was not a Star Trek episode. Anyway, so they had this idea. That's sort of where Voyager ties into that. I was searching over it. Oh my gosh, jeez. Were you like searching Star Trek for Golden Record? Oh dear. Oh boy. The Barbie, ladies and gentlemen, the Barbie. Oh, we all love her. We do. She was Googling Star Trek to find out what the Golden Record was. Which is hilarious to me, but that's okay. I'm sure not everybody knows what the Golden Record is, and I'm okay with that. That's sort of why we're having this conversation today. If you're not familiar with the Voyager space probe, if you're not familiar with that project, and if you're not familiar with the Golden Record, this is sort of what we're talking about here. So she thought it was an episode of Star Trek Voyager, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. Anyway, so they had this idea to put this record, which records at the time, well, I guess still technically records are probably the most resilient way to record information. So they made a record out of gold, because gold doesn't break down when it's exposed to like it's a soft metal, but like there's something, I forgot what the specific properties of gold are that made it ideal to make the thing out of gold, but I think it's because it's soft, yet it's like super resilient. It's soft enough to etch, but it's really super resilient, so it can be played back. I'm fuzzy on the details of why they used gold, but regardless. So they literally made a record. They etched a record, and on one side is Sounds of the Earth, and it's recorded soundtracks of various things, various sounds from Earth, like people laughing, birds chirping, nature sounds, things like that, and then a selection. And there's like a recording of people people saying hello in like all the major world languages, hello, greetings, whatever, in all the world's major languages, and then a selection of music from Earth and different cultures. And you know, there's like some Mozart on there. There's some traditional Chinese music. All kinds of different, you know, folk music. There's like Native American. I forgot what it's specifically officially referred to as, but the chanting, the Native American chanting, the African sort of tribal music, you know, folk music from around the world, and then of course, like, you know, major accomplishments in music, you know, like I said, like Mozart, Beethoven, Chuck Berry's on there. There's a very funny story about how Chuck Berry got to be on the record too, and like I think he even filed like a copyright claim or it was something weird, like they had this weird like copyright issue they had to go through to get Chuck Berry onto the golden record. And it was strange and terrible and just exemplary of stupidity, of corporate stupidity at the time, which hasn't really gotten much better. Anyway, so there's all these different audio samples of Earth, and then on the other side, on the flip side, is actually these are actually images that are it's basically like a TV scan. So it's a TV scan, and then it is transmitted into an audio signal. The images are converted into an audio signal, and that audio signal is etched onto the record as tracks onto the record. So so there's different images, like, you know, human anatomy, DNA, you know, different images from around the world, children playing, doing all these sorts of different things, and that's etched onto the other side. And so so the interesting thing is that, you know, they basically just sent this out into the cosmos to say, greetings from Earth. Here's Earth. Here are humans, and what humans look like, and how they're made, and what they do, and different cultures, and so on and so forth. And it was sort of this gift to whoever finds Voyager one day. You know, if the probe is crossing another intelligent species from another planet, or you know, in a weird sort of Planet of the Apes sort of twist of fate, eventually goes all the way around the universe and crash lands again on Earth, and you know, there's a different life form on Earth, or what have you. But so the idea was to send a message to the cosmos to say, here is humanity, here is what exemplifies humanity, here are things that humanity is sort of made. Stalled out vehicle in center lane. Yay! Here we go. So the whole idea was, we are this planet, we are the dominant species on this planet, and here is a sample of who we are, and maybe you'll like to come visit us one day. Sort of this weird open invitation sort of thing. There's another one! Holy shit! It is a day for incidents on the road. Oh boy. Anyway, so the point of this discussion today was, because of the anniversary of launching Voyager I. It was a couple of weeks ago, 40 years ago. But anyway, and a fella actually went through and showed the process of decoding the images, and I thought that was really cool. I found that on Boing Boing, and of course it's all over Reddit too. So that was pretty cool to watch. Anyway, so I wanted to ask you guys, y'all, what sorts of, if Voyager were being launched today in 2017, if Voyager were launched today, what would be what do you think would be the best examples of humanity that we would be able to put on the golden record? What music or what audio, what sounds, what music, what videos, what images would you select to put on your golden record? Real quick, Chris says he's late. He's here. Hey, welcome. You made it. Fantastic. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. So if you missed the question here, we're talking about the Voyager space probe and the golden record specifically, and if the golden record had if Voyager were being launched this year in 2017, what sorts of images or sounds or music or even video, because we have video compression technology that can do that now, what would you put on the golden record as a message to the cosmos to say, this is who we are as a species. This is what Earth is all about. What sorts of things would you put on there? I myself, I'm looking at, we've got a lot of the same sort of stuff. I think would go well on the record. So real quick, Chris says classical music. So can you be more specific? Classical's very broad sort of genre. I don't know what's on there. I forget. Yeah, I forgot everything that's on there. I think Mozart's on there. I think Beethoven might be on there. I know there's a lot of traditional or folk music on there, and I know Johnny B. Good is on there. I know that one for a fact. I know Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good is on there, and so that's I could probably choose a better track than Johnny B. Good, but so Mozart, Bach. Okay, cool. Mozart. Do you have a particular piece in mind, or anything, or we're just kind of generally saying Mozart and Bach, and I'm fine with that either way. I'm sure people more into time for Back to the Future. Yes, oh yes, today is the day that what is it? It is the 7th. Yes, September 7 is the day that Doc was supposed to get gunned down by Mad Dog Tannen, and then Marty came to save Doc, and then all of Rush. Yes! All of Rush's catalog is going on the golden record. Yes, in MP3 format. I love it. Yes. Good Lord, yes. Oh, man. It's Friday night. I've got no date, a full bottle of Shasta, and my All Rush mixtape. Let's do this. Oh, man. Movie? Well, TV show. Anybody? But Barbie says should put their record of both wars and peace to say we're not perfect. That's an interesting idea, to put down a complete timeline of conflict and peace for the human experience. That's really, oh wow. Chris says he meant Johnny B. Good for Back to the Future. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's the one we need. We need the Back to the Future version with Marty McFly and the Starlighters. But Yeah. So it's funny you brought up Back to the Future, yeah, because today is the day that the train they crashed the train into Clayton Ravine or Eastwood Ravine or whatever the old Indian name for Clayton Ravine was. But anyway, yeah. So a bit of trivia there. Today is the day of the shootout in Hill Valley, where Clint Eastwood defeated Mad Dog Tannen. So a good plus and minus of who we are as a whole. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, we can't just paint a good picture of ourselves. Yeah, we have to be real. We gotta be realistic as who we are as a species. Let them know what they're in for, because oh boy, yeah, if they were to descend upon humanity, they might be in for a shock if we just had all the good stuff. It'd be like a bad dating profile where you only put, well, I mean, I guess a good dating profile is where you only put the good stuff about you, and then you go and you meet the person and you find out like all the bad stuff about them too. Yeah, so it's like you're lured in by the good stuff, and then they're like, with the bad. I had a few like that. I did have a few internet dates like that. The communist was one of those. Can't just paint it. Oh, okay. It keeps popping up the same comments. So when I look over, I'm like, oh, that's the same comment. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So like a timeline of conflict and peace. Of human history, essentially. That's an interesting addition. So we've got the classical masters, Mozart and Bach. What other images might you put on there? Just still images. Those are easy. Math, DNA. Okay, yeah. Some basic, like calculus, and of course the double helical structure of DNA, just to sort of explain we're a carbon-based species. This is how we're made. Okay. That's. I think DNA. I think the DNA structure is actually on the current golden record. So, hello there. Hello, this Silo. I think it is. It's hard to read these comments. But hello and welcome to the Freeway Forum. And just to recap, we're talking about the Voyager space probe and the golden record and what was on it originally and what sorts of things would you put on the golden record in 2017. Oh, hello, and thank you for subscribing. That's fantastic. We'd love to see new subscribers here on AirborneSurfer. But yeah, so we're oh, great. Yeah, the traffic's just coming to a complete stop. This would be a good time to thank our sponsors. Today's Freeway Forum is sponsored in part by AirborneSurfer.com. Yes, AirborneSurfer for all your adventitious geekery and other distractions needs. AirborneSurfer.com. It's the home of me. Yeah, you can find this and all of my videos at AirborneSurfer.com. Also, YouTube.com/TheAirborneSurfer, which you are at right now. And thank you so much for being here. Of course, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and tell your friends about it. Share it on social media, and we'll get more people in here, and we'll have a rollicking good time. Also sponsored in part by Amazon. Amazon, I have affiliate links down in the doobly-doo, and if you shop on Amazon, you can click one of those affiliate links, and anything you buy doesn't cost you a penny more, but I'll get a little kickback from that, and that allows me to do more interesting things here on the Airborne Surfer YouTube channel and AirborneSurfer.com. Anyway, so back to it. How do you like my product placement there? That's my advert. That's my inline advert. So let me know what you think of that one. Starting to do that about halfway through. Barbie's saying something about the Fifth Element movie, and that took her forever. I'm not quite certain where you're getting. Are you talking about like a space probe thing, or I don't know. I missed a comment in there somewhere, so you're gonna have to catch me back up. Yeah, so good answers so far. Great answers so far. Very interesting answers. The structure of DNA, mathematics, a history, a timeline of war and peace for the human race, for the human species, human society. That one gets a little fuzzy too, because major conflicts. There's major conflicts. There's minor conflicts. There's recognized conflicts. The scene where Mia Jovovich gets a quick where she's like scrolling through the internet, or whatever they call the internet in 1990s future, but. Where she's like, blah, 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 and then, but the problem with that is, if you run across a really judgmental species, and they see all of this conflict and war and bad stuff, you have to worry that maybe they'll come and exterminate us, just so that we don't go and exterminate them, because we're kind of a xenophobic. In a lot of ways, we're very xenophobic. It's wired into our brains. It's our lizard brain back here. Humans are quite xenophobic by nature, and we don't like to be, obviously. And some cultures are more open and welcoming than other cultures. But humans as a species, it's interesting because we're wired to be somewhat xenophobic. And that is afraid of others, afraid of the other, afraid of the unknown. So that I feel like that's a lot of the cause of conflict in our history is this sort of tribalist, xenophobic sort of nature that we have as social creatures. We're a social animal, and for better or worse. So I like to think of the broader scale of it, but that's one thing you got to keep in your mind. You can't just say hey, we have the destructive power to annihilate everything on our planet and possibly everything on your planet. So watch out for us, man. Kind of reminds me of we'll tie it back to Star Trek here. Kind of reminds me of the mirror universe in Star Trek, where there's a great couple of episodes of Enterprise where they started with that scene in the First Contact movie. They start there, but instead of James Cromwell extending his hand in friendship to the Vulcans, he just shoots them and takes their ship. and then it starts the whole mirror universe Terran Empire, and that's very funny to me. But yeah, you gotta kind of watch out for stuff. That's what that reminds me of, to tie it back to Star Trek. It's just this whole idea that maybe we're Sliders, yes. Oh, Barbie's reminding me of Sliders. Speaking of the 90s, Sliders, which was an awesome series. I freaking love Sliders. At least the first 2 seasons of it, and then after that it started got weird and stupid, but it was a cool concept. I love the concept of Sliders. This idea that, and it's a great setup for a TV show. It's great because it's a new adventure every week. It's a new world, a new concept. Yes, Barbie, to answer your question, spoiler alert, they did make it back to Earth, or at least they think they made it back to Earth. It was the episode, it was Exodus Part 2. Actually, remember this episode, because it was, I don't know, I liked that episode for some reason. It was one of the good, it was the last good episode of Sliders. It was the same episode where the professor gets killed and everybody dies except for Wade and Quint and Remy. Remy? Yeah, Remington. So the hot chick, not Wade, but the other hot chick, she, like, they escape the planet. The Earth is being hit by a pulsar, and it's just being irradiated, and so everybody's dying, and everybody else has already slid off world. And that was sort of like the MacGuffin. There was that they're going to slide off world because this world has developed sliding technology, and they're going to use it to escape, and to escape this pulsar that's going to irradiate the planet and kill everything on it. So everybody else is slid already, and the MacGuffin was, okay, you helped us fix our sliding technology. Here are the coordinates to your Earth Prime. And so they're like, yay! And so they slide, and they're home. And they're really home. They're actually home. And turns out that there's something in Earth Prime's atmosphere that is poisonous to humans from that Earth. And the hot chick, like, starts suffocating. She can't breathe, and they take her to the hospital, and she's in ICU, and they put her on oxygen, and this, that, and the other, and they're like, oh my god, she's gonna die because we can't figure out what's going on because there's something in the normal atmosphere that she's reacting to. The doctors have no idea, so Quint panics, and then just grabs her and slides, and then catches up with Wade and Remy later, and then they go hunting the bad guy, the English guy, who, like, steals people's brainstem and then, like, injects them into the back of his head. It's weird. It got weird and stupid after that, but yeah, that's what happened. They actually do find Earth Prime. I don't know if they ever got back to Earth Prime after that, because I lost interest, especially after Jerry O'Connell left the show. It was just like, it was over at that point. Like, when his brother came onto the show and played him, and it was just bad. Like, after it moved to Sci-Fi Channel, it was over. It was done. It was beating a dead horse. But talk about jumping sharks. But that's what happened with Sliders. But yeah, so, you know, spoiler alert, they did find it. And they just weren't there for very long. Anyway, so what other sorts of things would you see on the Golden Record? I like the idea of putting the concept of the internet on the Golden Record, this global communication system, because I believe that's one of humanity's greatest achievements in the 40 years since Voyager left Earth. Interconnectivity, intercommunications, technology, that has sort of really taken off in the past 40 years, especially in the past 20 years. So that's definitely, how would you illustrate that? I don't know. But that would be an interesting idea. Maybe we could put like the how to get on the internet VHS video. We can digitize that, put it on the record. Maybe that's an idea. That'll be an episode for another day. What obscure VHSs do you watch? Because that's me. I watch obscure, terrible VHS tapes. What else? Good Lord, what else? Any more ideas from you guys? Any more ideas from y'all? Having a bit of trouble with the signal here, but that's okay. So we've talked about some music. What's another great exemplary piece of music in the past 40 years that we missed? I would love to put some third wave ska on there, but that's me because I love third wave ska. So maybe a little Save Ferris or the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Let's put the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones Impression That I Get on there. That's a great idea. because it's taking a lot of the old brass influenced music of the jazz era, and sort of bringing that back and saying, this is what has happened. This is what has evolved from this music. So it's an interesting way to show, interesting way to illustrate progress. Yeah. So those are my ideas. Let me know down in the doobly-doo what your ideas are for expanding upon Voyager's golden record. If we were to launch Voyager III in 2017, what would you put on the golden record? Leave your comments down in the doobly-doo. And that's about all the time I've got for today. I appreciate y'all being here. Love having this conversation with you guys every week here. Thursdays, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 5 p.m. Thursdays. And of course the replay will be up shortly after this. And of course you can find me on Twitter at AirborneSurfer, and follow along there, and you can find everything else at AirborneSurfer.com, where you'll find all your adventitious geekery needs. My name is Atari. This has been the Freeway Forum. Appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. If you have friends, people in your social networks that you think would enjoy sort of interesting discussions like this, and would like to contribute to the Freeway Forum, please don't hesitate to tag them and let them know that we're here. It is by you that we grow. And all that being said, thank you once again for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell notification icon so that you'll be notified exactly when this show starts next week. My name is Tari. This has been the Freeway Forum. And until next time, tally ho, y'all.